Hello everyone and welcome to Tuesday's Maths. So a slightly different maths lesson today. We're going to do a little bit of an investigation. So it'll be less time watching this video and more time doing some mathematical thinking at home. So we are going to be thinking about related facts like we have for the last two maths lessons. But today we're going to think about using a part-whole model and using different parts, so not just the same parts. So using the same whole and changing up the parts. So I've got, as my example, I've got 14 as my whole, but I've got no parts yet. So I want to find what are two parts of 14. So I'm going to use 14 counters to help me. So when you complete this at home in a little bit, you might want to get some different objects that you can find around the house to help you find different parts. Okay, so I've got 14 counters. So I'm going to separate them out into two parts and see how many I've got. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I put 6 counters in my one part. I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 counters in my other part. So I have 6 in here. I'm going to write that down so I don't forget. I've got 6 in there and I've got 8 in here. Okay, so I've thought of two parts and the whole. So there could have been another way I did that, but I chose to go with 6 and 8. So 6 and 8 makes 14. So now that I've done that, I'm going to write down my 4 related facts. Remember, part of part equals whole, and then whole take away part equals part. So I'm going to put 6 is my first part, add 8 is going to give me my whole, which is 14. And I'm going to swap them around. 8 add 6 is 14. Then I'm going to think about using 14 as my whole to start with. I'm going to do some taking away. So 14 take away 6 is going to give me 8. And then 14 take away 8 is going to give me 6. Okay, so I've done, that's the quick part because I know that you've now practiced that a lot. So you should be super good at that. I've done that nice and quickly. Now, instead of going on to something else, I'm going to think, well, there's another fact family I could make with 14 as the whole, because can you see that the question is, what fact family could you make, which implies that there's more than one way. So to do that, I'm going to swap my parts, not swap them over like I have here. I'm going to think of some different parts because 14 is a big number, so there's different parts I could have, so not 6 and 8. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out my 14 counters. And I'm going to put them in a different way now so that my parts aren't 6 and 8. And then I can write a new fact family. Okay, so let's just take those out. I'm going to delete those numbers. I'm going to do different ones. And this time I'm going to do, I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I'm going to put 9 in that part. I'm going to write the 9 down. And then I'm going to put 3, 4, 5. So put 9 in one part, then I've got my leftover ones. I'm going to put 5. So I didn't need to count to double check I had 14 because I knew I had 14 counters. So when you do this in a little bit, if whatever whole you choose, make sure you've got that many counters, and then the leftover ones will go in the other parts. I've got 9 in here, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here. So now I need to change my fact family to a different one. So when you do it in your book, then you can put the other one underneath and you can see how the difference. But because I haven't got enough room, I'm just going to delete these numbers. And I'm going to make a new one. So this time my part is 9. That's not a 9, is it? 9 and 5. But my whole is staying as 14. And then I'm going to swap them around. So I've got 5 and 9. My whole is 14. And then I'm going to do 14. Stays in the same place. Take away 9 gives me 5. And then I'm going to do 14 take away 5 gives me 9. Okay, so can you see how we've used the same whole and we've changed the parts? Now we've got 2 completely different fact families. Same whole, but the parts are different. Okay, so your job today is to choose one of these part whole models. So can you see that each one has got a hole, but it's got no parts. So this one obviously has got the number 12, but this one's got Dean, so you need to find out what the hole is there. This one's got Pneumacon, so you need to find out what the hole is there. And this one's got dice. Okay, so you look at the numbers on the dice, there's a 6 and a 4. So then you know that 6 and 4 makes 10. So that's your hole. And your job is to choose one of these part whole models, draw it out in your book, and then choose some different parts and make a different fact family. Okay, so I want you to do at least 2 different fact families for the same part whole model. Okay, so I'm going to write down the generalizations just to remind you that it is part add part equals whole, and it's whole take away part equals part. Okay, so you might like to choose this one here. You know the number's 12, so you might have to draw yourself sometimes if you've not got any objects. But if you've got something at home that you could use, you could get yourself 12 objects, split them up into 2 parts, put the parts in your part whole model, then write a 4 fact family, and then use that same whole of 12 and split it up into 2 different parts, okay? So like I did with 14, I had 8 and 6 first of all, and then I swapped it round and I had 9 and 5, okay? So it's the same whole, but different parts. So I want to see how many you're going to do. So at least 2, so 1 part whole model, but at least 2 fact families, but you could do as many as you want. It's an investigation, okay? So I look forward to seeing that all in Class Dojo Year 1. I know you're going to be brilliant at it, and I will see you tomorrow for some more maths. Bye everyone.